In the dark and twisted corners of our imagination, there lies endless worlds of wonder and terror. In one, the undead have risen to claim the earth. In another, a hard-boiled detective is on the trail of a mystery shrouded in darkness. And in the depths of space, the crew of an interstellar vessel braces for the unknown. But there is more, a fantasy world of ancient ruins and of adventure face an unknown peril. These are just a few of the many worlds waiting to be explored. Choose your world, wield your words, and join us, where every story begins with a single sentence and ends with infinite possibilities.
And yes,
that trailer is fire.
An amazing video from Write Warz. Woo! Yeah, it is. Totally. You guys did a great job with that.
Thank you. Yeah, it turned out really good. We're real excited about it. Jesse helped draft it up, and we had a lot of fun doing that and making our Kickstarter video that we'll probably show later. But thanks for having us.
Dude, like I said, I ran into the video. I saw it. I was like, I got to talk to these guys. I got to bring them on the show. Then we had that little conversation. We've had a couple conversations now, one in the green room right now and one before, and it just made me even more excited. So
that's good.
You got something.
Yeah, we hope so.
Something contagious.
I hope so. Yeah, we're really excited about it. It's been a long journey, but it's hopefully we're hopefully ready to get it out, and I think it's gonna be real good.
So let's start this off right. You can both talk about this, but tell the audience who you are, what you do, all the good stuff. Explain to them why they should be interested in Write Warz.
Okay, well, I'm Richard
No
Bolts.
pressure.
Yeah, I'm Richard Bolts. I'm the chief joystick waggler at Bolts Entertainment, and this is a project I've been working on for Jesse and I've been working on for about 10 years, and it's gone through a few different iterations that we'll talk about later, but it's really exciting. It's a creative writing game. But it's kind of in the format of like a battle royale where you have 8 players, and you have these different themes and with different starting sentences, and when after each writing phase, then you go into a voting phase, and everybody kind of votes on what they think should be the next sentence of the story. And then you're just kind of building a story just like that. It makes writing a little less intimidating than, for me, writing is tough, but when you put it in a fun game format that's casual, it just makes it really easy. So it's exciting to kind of get that out there, and we had worked on another version of it, which was originally called Threads, like 10 years ago, and yeah, I was one letter off actually from being a millionaire here, but
or from copyright infringement.
Yeah,
exactly.
Or being a negative millionaire.
Yeah, I had a Z instead of an S, so my bad, but.
I think it's better with the Z.
Yeah, I think so.
Very edgy.
Yeah. It originally started off as an iPhone game back in 2013 or 14, when like games like Words with Friends and Draw Something were real popular.
Oh, I love those games.
Yeah, they were really fun. So back then it was like a 3-player game where a lot of games had like push notifications where you kind of take your turn, and you would, it would send a push notifications to anybody that you were playing with, that it was their turn to go. So that was like how the state of games were back then. And so we built ours in that model. And it did really well. It was in the top 10 of the Apple Store.
Sweet.
And but it's
pretty good.
Yeah. So we had some hiccups with some of our outsourcing when we did it. So then we had a family and had to kind of put that on hold for a while. But we've been kind of off and on working on it for trying to upgrade it and get it ready for a larger audience. And that's where we're at now. It's a completely different game now because it's a live service, 8-player game. We have all these different themes, different characters with different backstories, and it's in a really cool place right now. We're about to get into alpha to where we can get some alpha testers in and help us out. But yeah, I mean, we have everything from scare horror to science fiction to noir, and all of these have kind of plot point events that help push the game in different directions and make it different every time you play. So
what about being hit by a truck and being reincarnated in another world?
The old isekais.
It's funny that it's funny the way stories can devolve, and that's probably a way a lot of them will turn into. So we'll start in a dark and stormy night, and we'll end up being hit by a truck and going somewhere. So, but that's just the nature of the sandbox kind of round robin. It's real fun. We have a lot of fun here at the office. Playing them, so it's gonna be good.
It sounds like it. It sounds like you guys are actually enjoying the same game that you're putting out there, which is a good thing. And it's one of the things that we like to watch for here with Bit and Apple is to see that passion that people have for their projects, because the passion is a great place to start. It actually helps you sell your product.
I mean, it also just makes you want to make a better product in general, rather than like, oh, I'm just doing this for the money. I don't care. Like you want to make something that you yourself would want to play.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm a lifetime gamer, so making a good game is like number one priority for us. Making a game that everyone will enjoy, or hopefully everyone will enjoy, and just being real solid with listening to the community, and that's something that we do here when we bring people into the office to alpha test. We my programmer hates me because every time we have a test, we get a lot of positive feedback, and we get this button should do this, and the voting should be like this, and then we go back and we rework everything. So we're constantly trying to get it in a place where everyone's real happy with it. So.
Well, like I was saying, right, because this message showed up before the show even started. Write Warz is going to be awesome. I can't wait. So, you can tell that people are excited. And I was telling you that people are excited.
Tanking through a migraine for you guys. So I can see this being as I keep wanting to say infectious, but that's probably not the word, but as like popular as say like the Jackbox games where, people put in a prompt and then do a bunch of silly things. And it's like, it makes writing like more accessible. Like I could see myself playing this with like my non-writer friends and still like having an absolute blast.
Absolutely. And Jackbox is one of our inspirations for sure. As far as the party kind of game, which it's kind of turned into. It's really each theme has a different starting sentence, and from there you don't know where it goes. We had one, we were in a science fiction game, and we ended up talking about a planet where Michael Jordan had to save everybody through the sport of basketball.
Space Jam.
Yeah, so that's just where we ended up.
Love
so
it.
That's great.
Yeah, and the way it's set up is, when you go in, it would be really difficult to have the same kind of story, just because you got 8 different perspectives, and and since everybody's voting on, and the best sentences going to the story is just always going to be different, And then we have plot point events that are unique for each theme that help drive the narrative of the story. Like for our science fiction, in the middle of the story, an event will happen where we lose power to the ship and we get stuck in an asteroid field, and so then we have these mini games that like we have different kind of little mini games where you have to like a Wordle, or you're descrambling things, or we have word bonuses depending on what station that you were assigned to in the beginning of the game, and you could use these words in your sentence for bonus points, but that also helps kind of drive the narrative where maybe it was kind of getting stagnant or something. So
right, yeah, it keeps things on the rails, like just how like a GM in a D&D game would be like, all right guys, like this is what happens, like you got to deal with it. And that's a good idea, because I was wondering like what you would do to prevent the story from, say, meandering, and then it's like it's just following a guy who just stays up in a tree for 12 hours or whatever.
Exactly, yeah, it is just like a DM. And we've written a lot of them in that manner, so that we're pushing the story, or depending on the theme and in the direction that it should be flowing, but people have the option, since it's a sandbox game, they have the option of kind of ignoring that prompt and going into the story that they want to go into, and that's perfectly fine, so we don't want to be too interrupting of the flow of the story, but we do provide the prompts, and we have each round we have tips on basic like sentence structure for that particular round, of this round you should be, because we have 12 rounds, so we have them broken up into this round you should be introducing a main character, and this round you should be the plot should thicken, and so we kind of have that broken down to help players if they do get stuck.
That is a great idea.
Yeah.
It's like you've considered every possibility that could go wrong, and you've tried to counter it, and I appreciate that.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll run into more, but yeah, one of our alpha testers, he definitely pushes us into. I don't want to say he's a negative Nancy, but he definitely like
me.
Yeah, so we call it the Tom rule. His name's Tom. So anytime we find a way, because before he was like, oh, I'm just going to vote on my sentence. He's just going to vote on his own sentence. Like, well, okay, we need to fix that, because we don't want players just voting on their own sentences. It doesn't make the game fun. So so that's just things that we've changed through feedback, and I think we've got a pretty good place now, where it's pretty balanced. I don't think we've had one game.
You forced them to actually have to vote for somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
I know writers, they don't like giving up their babies, and they'll definitely vote for themselves right away.
It's like the scene in Pirates of the Caribbean where they're trying to pick a king, and it's like they never pick a king because everybody always votes for themselves.
Right, yeah, and we have a lot of little bonus points. It is a competitive game, but it's also a collaborative game, so it's kind of got both aspects mixed into it. So we have if you and we found out in our testing, people would vote for not the best sentence, so that their sentence would have like more of a chance of winning. So we introduced good judgment points. So if you do vote for the sentence that ends up winning, you get more points. So it incentivizes people to vote correctly.
That's a good incentive. Okay, I like that.
Once again, planning for everything. I love it.
Yeah,
trying to. Yeah,
I can see you guys have really dove into this, especially with playing, testing the game out, and to see which ways to go. It almost feels like your guys are doing it the right way, unlike other companies that go, let's just get the game out.
Oh, what you mean? They're not releasing a broken game and then they'll patch it in 6 months and it'll still be somewhat broken?
Mm-hmm.
Is that what you're saying?
Well, what are you talking about? One of the world's best games is constantly being updated with new editions of rehashed monsters and just quote unquote new spells and new die mechanics. You can't say that.
You shut your mouth.
Bad. You know exactly what I'm talking about. How dare you?
What were you gonna say,
Do not
Jesse?
speak this blasphemy.
I was just going to say that we had some experience with that as well, with crashing and stuff like that, putting it out before, but we've been sort of looking at it as a process of continuing growth. Like we can refine it, and we're just constantly looking for what needs to be refined. So it's taken us a while, but because we continue the growth, it's refined a lot. If you look at where it started to the version of now, it's totally different. So that's where we're putting that work in.
How many versions have you been through so far?
Oh, to market, that have gone to market, only really one, but this is the second one. But as far as our own elements of refinement, it'd be hundreds of different things.
Wow, it's a lot of work. How many years has it taken you to refine this particular one?
Well, we didn't. It's not like we worked on it straight. We worked on it for that period, for I don't know, Rich, and then we had that long hiatus, and then over those years, we were working on other projects and things like that, and just family and stuff. We were refining the idea phases, the ideation and stuff, remembering what was wrong and what happened. And then so we knew what to look for when it came around again,
Cool.
Yeah, one of the dive into it a little bit. One of the issues that we had with threads is, this was 2013, so the field was a little different. There wasn't, I had to outsource a lot of the data, like database programming.
Okay.
I had to outsource a lot of the stuff, and we went through, when we went through our testing, we tested with as many people as we could, but I wasn't expecting the game to blow up in the way that it did. So we had 100,000 people downloading the game at the same time, and that wasn't something that we could really test for. So the database side of it wasn't capable of that. So that caused a lot of issues. And then the people that had outsourced to at the time, they weren't willing to fix it, and it just became a big debacle. So we decided, if whenever we were going to do this again, when we got the idea a little better, and technology is a lot better now, we decided that if we're ever going to do this again, we're going to do it the right way. So, we've hired full-time people. We have an office. We're all here. We're an actual game company. So those mistakes, it's not something that's gonna happen again. We've learned our lessons from doing that. So we've got everyone in house that we possibly can right now, and hopefully the Kickstarter, we can get some more people in, because we have a lot of additional ideas that we want to get in the game, but we can launch it without the Kickstarter, but we want to get some, we want to get the custom game mode in for sure, where people can kind of come in and adjust their own starting sentences, and if they don't want to play with plot point events, then they could turn those off. If you want to do poetry and with your friends, you can invite your friends into a custom game.
Nice.
That's something that we would need the Kickstarter to launch with, but just our normal core Write Warz, we can launch it without the Kickstarter, no problem. But that's kind of the purpose of the Kickstarter, is to kind of help us get those extra, we want to put some extra themes in there. We want to put some extra characters and effects, and we need more team members to do that in a confident way,
Right.
And we want to build a community that's supportive of the game, that they're following the game and care about it. So Kickstarter is a place to build that community as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's great for audience building in general. You have people interested before it even takes off, which is always a great place to start.
You guys are pretty decent here. You got 66 followers.
Oh, refresh it. It's at 70 now. I just hit follow.
Oh, damn.
That's awesome.
You want to tell them about the VIPs, Rich? How we've garnered the following on with the.
Yeah. So we have a pre-launch campaign that we've been going, which is play.boltsentertainment.com.
There you go.
And that's where we've been doing most of our advertising. I haven't really been advertising the Kickstarter too much yet, but yeah, I think we have close to 400 VIPs and 3,000 people that have signed up, and so there's definitely a lot of interest out there for the little bit of time that I've spent advertising.
Amazing.
We're super busy, so as soon as we get the Kickstarter done, I'll be able to focus on advertising a lot more. But yeah, it's I think it's going to do real good.
So the Kickstarter is more about the rest of the game, because you guys already have the main game that you're working on. So the Kickstarter is like bells and whistles.
Pretty much, yeah. So we have stretch goals. That's the main purpose of the Kickstarter, and like Jesse said, building the community. It's just a real good advertising platform.
It is
that you can build hype with. So that's the real purpose of the Kickstarter. But yeah, I mean, if the Kickstarter made zero money, which is fine if it does, but we're still going to release the game. We still have a really awesome game to release.
See, but that's what you want to. That's what you want to hear when you're supporting the Kickstarter. It is that this thing is getting released no matter what. Because sometimes what happens with Kickstarters is like, do I want to put my money into this? Because what happens if I put my money in there, and nothing happens.
Absolutely.
And I mean, also just saying that like this is happening, like whether or not people back it, like it just shows the passion that you have, and it makes people more passionate about it too. Because no one wants to hear like, oh, I'm not going to release it if you don't give me money. Like that's never a good look.
We need your help.
Right.
We do need their help, but we can release something not quite as good without their help.
Yeah, I mean, I always like to say like, I appreciate your support instead of like, I need your help.
Yeah.
Like it's all about how you word things.
Exactly.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we definitely appreciate the support. But it's getting released one way or the other. So I
can tell you this: you definitely have us in your corner. So I'm gonna keep pushing this.
Yeah, when are you launching so I can like get my wallet ready?
We hope to start the campaign at the end of the month, beginning in February at the latest. But yeah, pretty much everything that we need done for the Kickstarter, except for the actual like designing of the page, which we're working on. It's done. So once the Kickstarter page is at a level that we're happy with, then because our art for the game is really good, I think. So I want the Kickstarter page to reflect that.
Yeah. Just from the video alone, that looks all beautiful, and the worlds you already have, you're kind of hitting all the worlds that I guess the main ones that people like look at: horror, noir,
sci-fi, fantasy.
Fantasy. Woo.
Yeah, and what's really neat, just a little bit of inside information is each theme plays completely different. So if for example we have RPG theme, and in the RPG theme we have built in a dungeon crawler as well. So we have the game's kind of broken down into phases. We have a writing phase, we have a voting phase, and then our plot points are our phase, but the different themes have an additional phase. And so our dungeon crawler is, if you're not familiar with what a dungeon crawler is you have this procedural dungeon that's made, and you have a little character, and it traverses through the dungeon. So what we do before each round is you take a turn and you go in a direction that you think the gold is. If you think of like Zelda, the original Zelda, that's kind of like dungeon crawly, I guess. But when you go into each quadrant, if you fight a goblin, for example, which basically fighting a goblin is a word scramble. So you have to descramble the word in a certain amount of time. And if you do,
oh my God, I'm gonna die. So
you
bad.
get really good at it though. That's the thing. If you descramble the word, you get that word as a word bonus, and you also get a potion that will or an ability or something that will help you when you're writing around, so you can get extra time, or you can we have all kinds of things. We have a thesaurus that you could pull up, and that's that's an extra thing. So
You have a dinosaur?
Ooh.
Good question.
Yeah, I don't know how to put that in. Jesse, can you get a dinosaur in there for
We're
us?
on it.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Yeah, a while back we were playing around over here. We ended up making a detective dinosaur.
Oh
That's
my
right.
god. The possibilities truly are endless.
But yeah.
Detectosaurus.
Yeah. So our noir plays like a almost like a clue murder mystery. You need to by the end of the game, you need to find out where the murder happened, who did it, and with what weapon. So all our themes have a very unique play style. That's part of the core Write Warz game.
I think that's what makes it stand out even more, is because you have all these different themes and places that you're, different writing styles, actually, different story styles.
Mm-hmm.
That means that it actually helps you out as a writer or just as a regular person, because you're jumping from style to style, even though you can probably stay in whatever style you like, but it kind of helps you out in seeing how each one is different.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure it does. And our characters, I know you've been pulling up some characters. Our characters are a lot. There are avatars that you're kind of playing as, and we have like really deep backstories. Our whole idea before we started this was we wanted to create a universe of characters to where we could use these characters in other games too. So a lot of these characters, when we start making our next games, we'll be pulling these characters into those universes and using them in our games as well. So I think we're launching with 14 characters, and each season we'll be introducing new themes, new characters, new plot points. So it's got a lot of cool things. One of our stretch goals is we want to have the characters have like little abilities, that kind of affect the gameplay as well. So playing picking your character could be a strategic thing too. But that's down the road.
I love how much substance there is, because it's not just like you made like a basic platform and you're like, here guys, just write some shit and entertain yourselves. Like you really thought about like how to make things more engaging, how to make it more interesting, and just like how to keep it fresh too.
Yeah.
It's really important for us to have just a full experience. The art's really important for us. The music, we have awesome music guy. We have Jesse. Jesse helps with just bringing everything together cohesively.
I thought you were going to say Jesse does music too, because
I see those guitars back there.
Yeah.
He does. He does a lot of the stuff, a lot of the music and
I think
everything's cohesive.
I think one thing about the whole idea of it all too is the phenomenon of story, right? That's what we're really kind of trying to get out there is stories, and each player has their own stories that are just naturally going to come out with their imagination if we give them a stage and a platform, and like you were saying, some prompts, help optimize the process rather than just let them screw around, you know what I mean? Like waste time, get the ball rolling for them, and then let the story and creativity infinitely just generate from itself. That's the idea.
I can see that, because we got our friend here saying, new theme, your group enters the time machine, nervous that their destination time is unknown. When you step out of the time machine, you are shocked to see it looks like you got people floating around.
A dinosaur.
Exactly.
And then we vote on it, and we
being
see
driven by a dinosaur.
Yeah, and that's really, that's Write Warz. That's like a starting sentence for Write Warz, and then so everybody writes what they think should be the next sentence of the story, and then everybody votes, and then that sentence gets put in the story, and then
I want to like
rinse
play
and
this
repeat.
right now with that prompt.
Exactly.
Like,
That's actually a
I'm
pretty
ready.
cool idea.
This might be a good point to ask them, Rich, their opinion on. We're going back and forth with this idea where, originally it's just the players that are playing the game, and then we vote on the winning sentence, right? But we like the idea of other spectators in the game being able to spectate, and then they can vote rather than just the players.
That would be great. I mean, also like in terms of popularity, because then like streamers can play, and then they can have their audience like vote in on it, and then like
they
more
could
people
stream
see the
their
game.
own. They could stream their own streams as a spectator, right?
Yep.
Well, how heavy are you going to weight the spectator votes?
Oh, that's a good question.
Yeah,
because if you remember, like with Jackbox, that messes up like a lot of things, because you can just have one community who just likes one guy,
right?
And they'll use little
Mm,
tropes.
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, we have discussed having some sort of streamer thing, but yeah, we definitely would weight the votes for sure quite heavily. Probably just depending on how many people were spectating, we'd have some sort of complicated math equation for that. But,
I guess like
Looks
oh
like
man, I was gonna say something and my brain broke about the numbers versus like the percentage of people voting, and how like the higher percent would have like less weight or something. But I'm not a math person. I'm an artist.
Yeah, I got people for
I'll
that.
show
Okay,
this
good.
while you're doing that. It looks like Jordan has jumped in already.
All right, Jordan.
Awesome.
Yep, you do it, Jordan.
Yep.
Wait, Jordan's in?
What?
Hey, he just jumped in.
Yeah.
What?
All right, I like it. Yeah, so it's really cool to see, and like I was talking about with the the art styles are really important for us, and we kind of have it structured. A lot of games now has seasonal content with their live service games, so we have it kind of structured that way too, because it's a free to play game. It's a free to play game.
Very cool of you guys to do.
Yeah, we want as many people to be able to play it as possible. So we'll have seasons with like cosmetic stuff for the avatars, and
I like that.
and introduce new themes and stuff. But our seasons, it kind of revolves around just art in general. So like our first season is as an anime theme. So
let's go.
So we have a theme that we have. Each season we introduce 2 new characters, and so the first 2 characters are Kiyoshi and Lysandra, and they have a deep conflict that everyone will find out later, but they so we'll have anime variants of all of the avatars. The new theme is centered around this conflict, which is
I like that.
It's like a samurai and dark elf conflict. We actually have a 2.5 minute anime made already, that will be like the trailer for that season with those 2 characters. So so the art's real important for us. So we have 3 seasons of content already made that have completely different art styles, completely different unique music, unique themes.
Love it.
It's ready to
So
go.
Truck-kun is going to be in season 1. Let's go.
Yeah, there's
Yes,
gonna need
sir.
to be a scenario, a prompt that starts with someone getting hit by a truck, I guess.
I guess that'll be one of the optional prompts there.
Excellent.
You guys have really worked this stuff. I love how what I love, and the same thing Matta was saying, is that you guys have worked this. You guys have really gotten in there and worked your butts off to like get this somewhere, to make this something, to actually showcase the passion you guys have for this project. And Richard, I think you should tell them the story of how this started.
Yeah, so the idea of the game started a long time ago.
Far away. Oh.
Yeah, far away. So my dad was in the Navy, and I guess this is the 70s, late 60s, early 70s, and they they didn't have the internet or tablets or anything back then, so it was
What was life even back then?
I don't even know. I don't know.
How did they live? How did they get places? How did they meet with people?
I don't know. Yeah, how did they find
I
addresses?
heard there
don't
was
know.
this thing called a landline.
No.
No, that's the
Only
stuff of
if-
myth.
Hold on. Let me Google that. Yeah. So back when he was in the Navy, they would have duty rotation shifts, and so he'd be working in the wherever he was working. He's told me before, but I'll probably butcher it. So, he's working in this engineering department, and anybody that would come in to relieve him of his shift, they had a journal. And whenever someone would come in, they would write the next sentence of the journal. Someone would start it, and then the next people that would come in would write the next sentence. Right. And this would continue for the whole week. And at the end of the week, the crew chief would read the whole story to the entire ship. And it just like became such a phenomenon that like everybody on the ship, like that's what they waited for at the end of the week, was like this moment, And I was, when I heard that, I was like, that's a good idea. That's a good idea for a game. Like, why not make that into a game? They've had some iterations of round robin storytelling before, but not in the way that we're presenting it. So we took that idea and we've morphed it into Write Warz. And it really keeps the same. It keeps the same essence of the round robin, except for now we have a voting concept to it. But it's that's the origin of how we got the idea for the game.
Dude, like I told you when I spoke the first time, I remember doing the journal things. It was a whole different time period in the 70s, 80s, and 90s. That's pretty much one of the things you would do, especially like in the school. With your friends, when you were trying to tell stories and hang out.
Did you ever do the thing in school where it's like you write a story with your friends by like passing notes? So like someone writes like one thing and then you pass a note to like the other person, and then the teacher's like, "Oh, what are you doing there?" And they take it and they try to read it to like embarrass you because they think you're gossiping, and then they're just like, "Hey, wait, this is actually kind of good."
Yeah, our English teacher decided to get all pissy and went and grabbed this thing, and then started reading it. And then as he's reading it in class, he realizes that this is just a story that's forming. And I feel like it was one of the first times we made this teacher feel really stupid.
Love it when that happens.
And I was a punk kid, so
this is why we get along so well.
The moment that I had, because the teachers will always pick on me because they always thought I was too smart for my own good or whatever it was. And they would ask me questions when they thought I wasn't expecting it, and I would just answer without like looking up, and that would piss them off even more.
Yeah, because they think you're not paying attention, but actually, in order to pay proper attention, you have to be doing something else at the same time. Because ADHD is a hell of a thing.
Or you mean like actually multitasking? Wow.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Especially when your brain is doing 10 things at the same time at all moments.
Yep, firing on cylinders it didn't even know it had.
Yeah, they always call me, "Oh, Ralph, stop daydreaming." Oh man, but yeah, I love this. It's just an amazing thing to do. I spoke to when we were speaking. I like the fact that this gets people to write, because it's hard to tell, because people always ask me the same question, how do you become a better writer? And I just tell them to write, and they'll go, "You're an asshole.
Right.
Stop gatekeeping." I'm like, "No, I'm telling you, you just write." And I feel like this does it without any of that, I guess,
gatekeeping.
Exactly. Well, not the gatekeeping, but more like without you pushing it at them, because they always feel like you're trying to do something or you're trying to get away with something.
Right. Or I guess without things being too vague, because if you tell someone just write, then they're just like, "Oh, but I don't know where to start. I don't know what to do." Like, it gives a good starting point.
This does, definitely.
Yeah, one of our mottos for the game is one sentence at a time.
Yeah.
And that's really all writing is
Absolutely.
is just focusing on the next sentence.
Yeah.
And that's what you're doing here. And what's really cool is a lot of the play tests we have here, I actually just spectate. So I'll screen share with one of the players, and I just watch them. How they write and what they do. And when we bring in somebody for the first time, it's really cool to see. And I got a cool follow up with this, but it's really cool to see their evolution from oh shoot, man, like what do I do in this game? It was a dark and stormy night. Okay, what do I write next? So they'll start, they'll write like 5 words, but by, it's 12 rounds. So by like round 8, they're Hemingway, like they're going to town,
Amazing.
So the follow-up to that is, our a lot of our team, they don't have writing back. I don't have a writing background, but a lot of our team, or I've my programmer, my visual effects, my artists, like that's their field. And so, but from playing this game, you couldn't tell that was their field. Like they look like they're professional writers. We have a character limit in the game. I think it's like 175 characters right now, and like every round they're maxing that out. Every round they're it's like this intricate story, and it's just really cool. Like all they've done is just play this game, and their writing skills have increased in a fun way.
One thing to add onto that is ranked games, because they will have ranks and things as well, because people that are really proficient in playing the game all the time would be probably blowing people out of the water, that are just starting. So that's one factor as well.
Yeah. So to follow up with that, we have we plan on launching with a ranked and a casual mode, so there's not so much pressure. But
Right.
In our ranked mode, we'll have a sort of like an MMR system, like a lot of games have, that will match you with people in your writing skill level. So if you're a younger person and you're not as good as writing, you're not going to get matched with a professional novelist. So we would try
That's
to
good, because you don't want to deter anybody. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So, we would try to match everybody with their writing skills as best we can. And that'd be something we tweak, as we go. But yeah, it's real important for us to make sure, no one's, it's already intimidating to start, but once you get going, it's
make sure it's fun.
Yeah. Yeah, especially when you play with your friends. I mean, just so many times we're just in tears, just laughing at these stories that we're doing. I mean, they're just so funny, but it's just something people need to experience. And we're close to releasing the alpha for our VIP members. They'll kind of have the first crack at our alpha build. And then we have in some of our tiers on our Kickstarter as well. They'll have some access to a later alpha and then our beta test as well, our closed beta. And then we'll have an open beta process where we'll just kind of open it up to everybody. That'll help us stress test and listen to some more feedback and stuff. And then so we're hoping to launch the game sometime second quarter this year.
Nice.
So probably summertime. And we started working on this back in April of last year. So we've really pushed through with the small team that we have.
Yeah,
That's
it seems like you got a lot done in like a short amount of time.
So you have one of Write Warz' biggest fans is only 13 years old and can't wait to play it. She'll hold her own against professional novelists.
Love that energy.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Yeah, that brings up a point, an idea. We didn't really realize until we started testing that there was a whole comedic sharing factor to the game, where when we were playing, we were seeing that these lines and these segments of the story were so funny that we wanted to just text it to somebody, like just a snapshot of it.
Cool.
And so that's something that we'd like to incorporate as well, is just shareability of the stories and the different clips of the stories. And we'll give people, because we've already noticed with the community that we have that people are questioning, who's going to get the rights and who, to their name and their writing and things like that. So we're going to credit, if we, a clip of the game will have your name there with it. You know what I mean?
Oh, so like
when you clip it.
Yeah.
Oh, will there be an option to like save the whole story in case like you want to reread it later?
Yes.
Okay,
Yep. Perfect. Yeah,
you really did think of everything.
Yeah. We want to be able to save your stories, or you be able to save your stories. And Jesse touched upon something that gets asked a lot, as far as like, do I own the rights to the stories, and do I own, am I gonna take people's stories and go write a book, off their stories? And we understand those concerns, but I have no interest in writing books. I want to make video games. So, and so we want to make the, the game as comfortable for everyone. And writing is, it can be a touchy subject, when it comes to, what I write is mine, and I don't want anyone messing with that. And we understand that, so we want to, do the best that we can as far as that's concerned. So, it is a community, you're collaboratively writing a story. So, in our alpha tests, we usually, people don't win more than 3 or 4 rounds in a 12-round game, just because that's how the voting ends up and that's how people's writing is. So, the sentences that you individually write, they're yours. Everyone could just do with them what they want. If you make a character in the game and you really like it and you want to write a book, like, remember me, but have fun with it. Like, I don't, we'll use the stories. We'll probably use some of the stories for promotional stuff, in the game, just to showcase what awesome stuff people are doing. But we're
One
not.
of the ways you can probably go with this is, especially since you have all the story content, is to get the best stories together into like a book or something, a comic, a book, and that way you can actually have a release that direction.
Yeah, we had discussed doing a like a comic book series of stories, but we get into the realm of people not being comfortable with that, so
I get you.
It's not something that we're considering now, but the idea behind it before was it was something that, because we do have a ranking system, so it was something that we were considering before, where the top people could compete in a.
That's exactly what I'm thinking.
Yeah, they could compete in a way that influences a community comic book.
Right.
So if we have a story of these 2 characters, and that's what we want to do in a comic book series, then the tournament per se could kind of influence that comic book.
That. Yeah.
But it would have to be something that a majority of people would be comfortable with, because I don't want to proceed with it if
it's a hard balancing act. I get you.
Yeah. So right now it's a lot of people are more concerned, because I don't really think they understand the concept of the game. I think that they're going to come in with the idea that they're writing best, like New York Times bestsellers, and that's not really the focus of the game. The focus of the game is to kind of come in and kind of ad lib a story with strangers, like that's in a party setting. It's not really meant for a serious platform, but we do want to have that option. So we want to make a custom game where you can go in and you can tweak the starting sentence, and you can tweak if you want plot point events, or you can tweak, you could tweak all the settings that we could possibly imagine. And those stories would be like, we wouldn't keep those stories in our database, so you could keep those stories with your friends, and those are your stories. We never see them. That way we're just like providing the platform for you all to do it, but hopefully that would kind of alleviate some of the, the concerns there, which we understand.
Again, I love the fact that you guys are really diving into all those aspects, all these questions. You're trying to answer the questions before they're asked. It's really important, and it actually showcases that you guys care and you guys, are passionate about what you're doing.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it's definitely a passion project. We're super excited. Can't wait for it to come out. So,
Rich brought up another thing that reminded me that we're trying to get into as well with it is just live streaming, sort of maybe like a Monday Night Football type thing, right?
Ooh.
Where we have weekly competitions that ranked players over the week would, whoever's the, like first, second, they just cheer themselves out, and then there's a ranking system that so that's another thing that we're sort of looking into.
Yeah, a lot of events. I like the event aspect of having something at the end of the month or something that people are working towards. So they would work towards the ability to kind of compete in these like spectacles of creative writing, where we could stream it, live in game, and people could watch a story unfold, in real time. And one of our other game modes that's just in the concept phase right now, that's on our Kickstarter as a stretch goal, is we want to kind of have we're calling it right now like a hot seat epic, to where people could come in, we could kind of set a story like daily, so for 24 hours the story's running, so people could come in, play for a few rounds, and then leave whenever they want, but the story's still going, so at the end of the day we have potentially hundreds of people, thousands of people contributing to this huge long story. That's in the concept phase now, but I think it'd be kind of cool.
That sounds fun to like periodically check in on every now and then, and how's that story going?
Yeah,
type something in, check on it later.
Exactly, and that's something cool for, like Jesse said, to just have spectators in. So people might just want to spectate and see, checking on the story. What's going on.
Yeah.
We were talking about Kevin Bacon, and now we're talking about unicorns and dinosaurs. So it goes all over the
commentary. Place. They'll have their own commentary on whatever they're seeing. And they'll start sharing that with their people.
Yep.
We're hoping it can. Just on the live streams, it can spread organically like that through, spectators and different levels of streamers, and then like the official match type thing as well.
I also feel like you guys were saying before, like if you have that sharing aspect, because like you're saying, you're having these fun lines that are popping up, it actually helps your game out too, because if they're sharing this with other people.
Yeah, like, what's this funny little clip from? Doesn't make any sense. Totally random, but it's hilarious.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's almost like a self-promotion type of thing.
Right.
Yeah.
That was totally unplanned. We started realizing like these clips are better than we thought. Like this is good.
Yeah, we had one story. I think it was for our sci-fi theme, and they were. I don't know. The story had somehow gotten to Kevin Bacon and Taylor Swift, and one of the entries was just like the funniest thing. I don't know. I guess Taylor Swift ended up being a reptilian monster, and
a lot of
people
think
yeah. And so one of the things was like, so I guess I'll, bacon might be bad for the body, but or no, it was bacon will kill the body, but Taylor Swift will kill the soul.
Oh my God.
Wow.
And so that was just where that story ended up. So
that's strangely profound.
It is.
Yeah. So
that was one of the original ideas, is a game that's as limitless as the player's imagination, right? So that's sort of the original concept, is it's open-ended, wherever you guys take it, wherever the players take it, it can go.
Oh, I have a question about the voting.
Mhm.
Do you see the name of the person who wrote the sentences that you're voting on, or is it anonymous?
It's anonymous.
Perfect.
Wow. Yeah.
You
That's
considered
good.
everything.
Yeah.
Love it.
And you try, and we've seen strategically people will start to write sort of like another writer to throw them off, sort of, because you can start to identify the winning styles writing. You know what I mean?
Interesting. Okay.
It's pretty strategic what happens and how it just plays out. It's funny.
Yeah, it's definitely, in our higher level players, they'll start noticing that if they're writing super long sentences that not everyone else is writing, people kind of start realizing that that's their sentence in the voting round, and so they're like, well, I don't want this person to win, so I'm not going to vote on him. So they'll change their style of writing to more appropriately fit the people that they're playing with.
But they think it's going to get selected as the winner.
Right.
That's exactly what I was thinking of doing.
Yeah.
Like I was already planning it out.
I can see the strategy. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like inception of strategies. They just keep inside of each other. They just a bunch of strategies, and they just keep overlapping. It's wild because they keep changing every round, sort of.
I can see people going, I know who this is because that's the way they write.
Or you pick up on like a certain word that people use over and over again because we've all got one, and then you start using that word.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. And that kind of goes into our the way we structured a lot of the points that you get. So like the good judgment points, if you do choose to like try to not vote for some, the best sentence that should win, but everyone else does vote for that one. So you're missing out on those good judgment points, which are that they ended up adding up quite a bit. So, if you're playing ranked and you care about placing the best, you're going to want to vote for the best sentence. Like it's in your best interest.
You get the extra points. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So
makes sense.
Yeah. If you're trying to min max, then you want to play it correctly,
I like it. I like how you guys have thought about all this stuff, and you're constantly thinking about all this stuff, because it is alive. The game, in other words, the game is alive, and it's constantly morphing, and things are constantly happening. And I feel like you guys are trying to stay on top of it.
Yeah, trying to. It's there's a lot of people concerned about who the sentence belongs to. People get concerned about AI, in the game, and that's something that we don't have any AI stuff. All our art is human made.
Nice.
All our coding is human made. So we've had a few people ask, if we're gonna sell our stories to some AI companies to train them to take over the world, or
goodness.
things like that. So we have no interest in doing that. We're not.
You can do a story about it.
we have one of our events in the sci-fi theme is about an AI trying to take over the ship. So so you got to fight against that, or you're gonna get assimilated. So, but we're not having any AI stuff, and we're not selling any AI stuff in the game. Down the line, if it becomes more of an acceptable thing, because it's really hard to get away from a lot of the AI stuff.
It is,
in the gaming industry, especially, because you have art, you have even video stuff now. There's coding AI, there's and then just like algorithm. I can't say the word. That's it.
Okay.
That's it. That word. There's a lot of that with the AI. So we do think some of that would be neat to have in the game eventually, as far as like a you had mentioned it earlier, like a DM, so like an AI DM, to where they could kind of keep up with the story, and if it's getting stagnant, they could it could like help push the story in the right direction. So like if we have like static plot point events of I don't know, an asteroid. We have one event where we get stuck in an asteroid field, but the story is talking about the planet Neptune. It could change that event to be about Neptune instead of the event we programmed. So that's some ideas that we have for it. But again,
you could also get that done with a person playing the game as a DM.
Yeah, it could be absolutely, like a host could be the DM and change the events as well. So those are ideas that we're tossing around, but right now, with as touchy as it is, it's not something that we want to put in the game to where it's turning people off. We want to have as many people be happy with the game.
Like, it's a matter of how the AI is used and like where the data is sourced from, because I think people's main beef with AI right now is not like purely like, okay, it's replacing humans, but it's like it's stealing work from other humans, like with the art and stuff. It's kind of like chop shopping other people's stuff without their consent, which is like technically theft. So it's like, if there's an ethical way to do it, like I'm sure people would not be against it.
Yeah. So the way we would potentially do it would be to it would be the stories that are written in the game. It would be what it's taught off of, but then we get into people not comfortable with their stories that they've written being trained into an AI. So it's we just got to kind of see where the dominoes fall with that. But right now it's off the table.
Yeah, like, would it be sourced from every game, or would it just be sourced specifically from that game for the purpose of that game?
Well, to train one correctly, it would need to be sourced by a large amount of games. So it could be the games that we do in-house, and through our alpha and beta testing, not necessarily the live service games. So if we want to train, if we want to train an AI to understand what nouns and pronouns and verbs and how sentence structure is and all this, if we're not using outside sources, we have to use our stories to do that.
Right.
So so that's an idea that we've also tossed around, is just using our in-house games that we have to kind of train it in a way that it could interact with other people's games in an intuitive way.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
It does. Oh man! Again, like I said, you already have us really excited about this, and anybody I've told about this or shared this with, they're excited about it. So I think you got something.
Yeah, I told a friend about it, and I'm like, "Oh, this is what's going to happen on the show tonight," and she's like, "I had work to do, but I guess I don't."
I guess I should watch.
Yeah,
exactly.
That's good.
And I know people are watching because I can see the number of people watching, and there's a lot of people watching.
Yeah, you've got something special here.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Good. We're
special
excited.
and unique, also, which is great.
Yeah. One last thought I had was just that we're pretty. I took a lot of realism, I guess, to just know over the years when something wasn't good enough that we thought was good enough, and then we realized really wasn't on the level of expectation that the market wanted. You know what I mean? So we had to go through that process. So I think that is a lot of what I attribute to where we are with it now.
Yeah, I think I sent you, Raphael. I think I sent you a bunch of our early concept, or back when we had threads. I was
looking at all that stuff. It was all interesting to see where it was and where it is now.
Yeah,
how it started and how it's going.
Yeah, that would be a cool thing. I don't know if you can pull it up or not, but just to show like 10, 11 years ago, that's what iPhone games looked like. That's how games were versus now. And actually this model, this like 8-player live service model was my goal back then. Even when I was making a 3-player push notification game like everybody else did, I was like, man, like if I could have 8 players and they could play live, even though like the technology is not really there, like that was always in the back of my mind. So for the last 10 years, I've just been like how could we make that work? How could we do that in a way that's fun? So we've the core parts of how Threads was back then was the writing and the voting were similar, but we didn't have any plot point events. We didn't have the kind of character avatars and stories like we have now.
Right.
We had very limited themes. So it's definitely a complete. That's one of the reasons we completely changed the name, is because it's just a completely different game. At this point. So.
We didn't go to market necessarily with this, though, right? Oh yeah, we did with that, huh?
Yeah,
but that wasn't our logo and stuff for like store and such.
Yeah, that was more of this like the login screen and stuff. But this was 10 years ago. So again, like I bring this up. We have I think there's a few of them like actual of some gameplay, but people get concerned about AI. Like I did this game before AI was a conceived notion. Like this is 11 years ago. I made this. we made this game. So. It's definitely AI is not a
thing back then.
It wasn't a thing back then, so we've made it better now, so this was like, it was like a single player game until you sent it to everybody. So this was like your, actually, I think this is a voting round actually. So there's the two other options. So you would just vote on one and hit submit, and then it would send the push notifications to the other players. That's just a sample story, but, that was the idea behind it, but now it's so much better just having a live service.
Dude, this looks so different than what you have now.
I know, completely different. But the core of it's still there, But that's
that does put it into perspective. It brings you a whole other idea of like, well, look where we were, look where we are now. It's two totally different things, and then also like you're trying to showcase. Is that we've been doing this for ages. So, this AI stuff isn't even part of our language.
Yeah, or like it was never needed to begin with.
Exactly.
Right. Yeah. And like I said, we jumped in the top 10 of the App Store when we launched the game. So people enjoyed the game even in that like mutant version of what we had. So which back then, I mean, I make fun of it now, but back then that's how all the games kind of worked and looked and stuff. So
that was just like every other game from that time period.
Yeah, had I known that was a thing back then, I would have totally downloaded it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I know I would have.
Yep. So that's where we came from. Those were our roots. But it's in a really good place now. We're super excited about it.
So are we. And
so are we. Yeah. I'm just gonna be like sitting there refreshing the Kickstarter thing until it launches.
Let's see.
I mean, hey, you guys got
are ready to take this Kickstarter. You guys are more than you're welcome back here to help to do that thing. Yeah.
I mean, hell, you got $1 out of me.
You got $1 out of me already.
Thank you for the dollars.
And now I'm just waiting for Facebook to let me in the group.
That means, I gotta go push that button. I'll do that in a little bit. But so it's in a really cool place, and we're really excited about it.
There you have it, folks. Write Warz, amazing. It's amazing because we've been talking about it for the whole hour, actually.
Yep.
Usually we talk about other things, but this hour has been all about Write Warz and how amazing this is, and the ingenuity and creativity that went into it.
Time well spent. Good hour.
Exactly. So Sorcier, you got something going on right now. Just let the people know what it is. Go for it.
Oh yeah, I have my Kickstarter going on for my comic, Sacrimony, A Tale of Love, Life, and Death, in no particular order. It's the story of a teenage girl who died, but then she got better. And oh, look at that. See, anytime I check on it, it never moves. And then you do that, and then it moves. So I'm just going to ask you to check on it from now. Totally lost my train of thought. Teenage girl who died, but then she got better. And as with all mysterious resurrection stories, there's a catch. The catch is that she has no memory of her past, no idea why she has magical powers, or why she has demon wings that she now has to hide from society. So yeah, she's just trying to have a normal life in a city that wants her dead yet again.
Yet again.
Yet again. It's rough when you die and then you come back and people still want you dead.
Especially if somebody killed you.
Yeah. Especially when you don't know who killed you or that you
Exactly.
even died. Like,
Yeah.
Sure,
It's-
it wasn't you sure it wasn't the IRS trying to come back again and again and again?
Oh, the IRS.
Those the
Oh, God.
telemarketers asking about your car's extended
Telemarketers.
warranty.
Oh, them too. Yeah, folks, go check this out. It's an amazing book. If you like fantasies, if you like epic fantasies, this is right up your alley. And the drama in this is just dramaful.
Oh my God. Yeah, I'm so glad you got to read the first few issues to
my
see
God,
the
yeah.
drama unfold. But yeah, it's not your typical fantasy story with like
No.
kings and queens and knights and chivalry. It's very much more down to earth. It focuses more on the characters and the bad decisions they make and the fact that none of them have their shit together. It's very human. It's about like dysfunctional families of all kinds, even divine dysfunctional families, and just like oh, what did someone say something?
No, I think
Oh, I heard a weird echo.
there was some feedback.
All right. Yeah, so it's a very down to earth fantasy. It's very relatable. The characters are relatable. Like you'll find a bit of yourself in a character and like latch onto them. I promise you.
Definitely. And as someone who just read a couple of issues, you see people in this. I see a lot of people. Some people I don't like.
Yeah, there are lovable characters, there are hateable characters. There's a lot of moral grayness going on where you might see like a good character do something a bit questionable, like just to get by, because that's how life is sometimes. Art imitates life.
The artwork's always amazing. I always tell you, I think your artwork is really great.
Oh,
thank you.
Amazing. Oh yeah, you have to show the
Okay, the painting. A bunch of stuff is gonna fall.
Beautiful. I keep looking at my wallet, going, I don't think I can afford that.
Yeah, I'm selling the original painting actually, which was done in watercolor and acrylic paint, color pencil, and like markers, basically mixed media. But yep, this was one of the covers, but it's also the original is up for sale.
Just beautiful.
Awesome.
Oh, and see if we can see the glitter here, because I also put glitter. Yeah, there we go. There's that sparkle. So
that's really nice.
Thank
You did the art?
Yep, I did the art and the writing for the book and the lettering and the everything and the marketing. Like it is.
One team.
Yeah. Well, actually, I hired Blake Morgan to help with the marketing to ease the load on myself a little, so I can keep making more comics behind the scenes. But yeah, like basically all the creative stuff within the book, it's all me. And I'm on my 7th issue, and I'm still alive somehow.
I still love what you say. You can't even afford yourself.
Oh God, yeah, I can't even afford to pay myself. One of these days, I'll be able to, but we'll see.
All right, Frank, go ahead. Tell the people who you are, all that good stuff. Go for it.
Sure. You gonna put up the website?
I think so. I think you need to send it to me in the private chat so I can actually put it up.
Oh, okay. I thought I did that, but
I think
okay.
you send it to me on my text. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Give me one. If someone else wants to go, I'll do it. Whoever wants
Jordan,
to go.
go quick, no pressure.
Yeah, Jordan.
Sorry about that. Put him on the spot.
Oh, you're good.
Which one? What do you want to start with, Jordan? You want to start with drumsticks?
This one.
Oh, okay. Hold on. Which is this one?
Drumsticks.
Drumsticks. Hey, speaking of drumsticks, he shall be here next week.
He will be here next week. I'm gonna go to like Illinois and like drag him over.
He lied to me then.
Oh?
John lied to me.
What did he say?
I was watching his stream earlier, and I was like, has Raph or Matta talked to you yet? And he's like, yeah, they've talked to me, but I don't think I'm going to be on during the Kickstarter.
He's such a dope. He could have just asked me. All he had, he knows multiple ways to find me because we work together now. Because he's now my comics partner in crime, and it's like he could just message me and be like, "Hey, you have a spot on the show?" But no, I reached out to him today, and I'm like, "This guy."
So yeah, this wonderful book here in my hand that's all black is,
Drumsticks of Doom. I love that title.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to getting the trade. It's basically like an alternate reality where Black Sabbath becomes the most popular band in the world instead of the Beatles. and like all hell breaks loose, basically.
I like this.
As you can tell by the all black cover.
I like the art.
Oh, definitely beautiful right there.
I like the logo too. I don't know who did their logo, but it's very good.
The logo's great.
Oh, John also does the lettering for his books too, so that's like really
Yeah, that all looks amazing.
Plus, plus he has Dan too, so.
Yeah,
he
Dan
just has a lot of good people around him.
He's a good person. He is actually like he's great to work with, I gotta say. Like being newly recruited for part-time comics, like he is a great person to work with.
Yep. And he's almost hit that 75 mark.
Yes, he'll get there.
Oh, he will.
If I could back it again, I would, but I can't. So.
Same.
It's time for the bunny.
Yep. Which is back into Bad Bug Comics and not Source Point anymore.
Interesting.
Yeah, that is interesting.
It went from Bad Bug to Source Point, and now it's back to.
Yeah. Well, of course, our bunny pal here, Horace, kick-ass metal bunny, who is cartoony and kick-ass.
And is also connected to their other series, Pocus Hocus.
Hocus Hocus. Yeah, it's a nice Faustinian tale. You know, this is just all magic and kick-ass stuff, all in one shot. Go check out this thing. This is a demented Saturday morning cartoon. If you remember Saturday morning
chaos
cartoon,
energy, that's what it is.
This is exactly what that is. And of course, you touch to notify. Let me see. Is this telling me I didn't or I did? Let's see.
You did not. Shame on you.
Ooh. There you go. You got another one. I have two Kickstarter accounts, so I never know which one.
Fair.
Well, maybe you'll get 2 emails then.
Probably.
It's okay. I also have 2 Kickstarter accounts.
So do I.
Of course, you know, you got the bunny now. Let's get the good boy.
Yep. Good Boy Volume 4.
I'm just gonna be pressing all these notifies. There we go.
Yep.
And of course, Good Boy is the reverse of John Wick.
Yep.
You know, the dog is out getting revenge for the human dog.
Yeah.
I love that concept so much.
That is great.
It's wonderful.
You know, Garrett and the guys do an amazing job with this. They even made a video game.
Well,
Whoa.
they did, and then they made a Kickstarter for it, and then they canceled the Kickstarter because it got picked up by an actual video game publisher.
Yeah. That's the way you want to go.
That's the dream right there.
So now they're waiting on the Kickstarter. They'll bring it back. Yeah.
And of course, we can't not let Jordan do his thing. Let's see if my computer actually works with me over here.
I believe in you.
I think I can.
Yes, there you go.
There it is. So, as of about 2 weeks ago, I've become affiliated with a company called Otaku Lamps. Otaku Lamps makes a bunch of different fancy LED lamps like this one. Because I have 5 of them in my house. Nice.
Like you do.
Well, that says a lot, man. If you have the stuff, wait, I gotta put that up. If you have it in your house, that says a lot. That means that you like the stuff you're selling, which is a good thing.
Yeah.
And it changes colors. Oh,
that's cool.
Yep.
That is really cool.
Okay.
There you have it, folks.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, if you buy some, Jordan gets a nice little commission.
Yeah.
Well, you have to use his code though.
This code right here.
Hagar 10.
Yep.
That's the same code you said, right?
One of our Bitten Apple folks lovingly shared his post on Facebook and Instagram earlier.
The Jotaro one, that is absolutely legendary. I love it.
Good old Roman Tony.
Yep. It is beautiful.
Roman Tony.
If I had the space,
I'll put it
get one.
in the link for you guys so you guys can use his code and go get some stuff. And
let me make
Jordan
more money.
Do they make custom?
Yes.
Yeah, custom stuff. That's
yep. There is an option for customs. Yep.
Sweet.
Yeah, they do like 2-foot lamps. They do like 5-foot lamps.
Okay.
Amazing.
I'm gonna check that out.
Wasn't there like an 8-foot one, or am I tripping?
There's an 8-foot one.
Yeah.
It was for, I think it was Attack on Titan.
My ceiling isn't even 8 feet high. I don't know what I would do with that.
Stick it outside on the wall. Just
It could be an outside
frighten
thing,
all.
man.
Just cause a complaint with people getting seizures.
You know what? Not a bad idea.
Yeah. You can label it as Christmas decoration year round.
Yes, it's always Christmas here, but that's not even Christmas related. That's JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Yeah, well, it's a festive show sometimes.
Yeah.
It gets dark. It gets really dark, and I think for that we have more lights. All right, hold on. So I see that Frank sent it over to.
It was a dark and stormy night, but we had his LED lights, so we were good.
There we go.
See, well, now
That's
we're
how we
working.
There you go.
And then someone comes along and steals the light.
Yep.
Oh, what happens next?
John Wick's dog.
Yes.
Exactly. Oh, so it's on the regular website. Okay.
Yeah,
I already have that up.
Jim put that up. Oh, I'm sorry. I screwed up then. That was my fault.
Yeah, you would have told me that. Okay, here it is. Okay. If you would have told me it's on the regular website, I would just put it on the regular website because I already had that ready for you.
My
There you go,
fault.
Frank. Do your thing.
All right. Hey, my name's Frank Destefano, so I'm the author of the Dark Legend of the Foreigner, and now the Cody Cobb file, which will be being dropped at Syracuse Collectors Con. That's St. Patty's Day weekend, so I'm going to be dropping that. So you guys were mentioning AI. Funny that you guys should be mentioning that. So the story is basically about a military project built by the military to counter terrorism, but develops AI. Artificial intelligence, and basically all hell breaks loose. So just to give a little, no spoilers. So this will be available at Syracuse Collectors Con. You could also check it out at frankdestefanoauthor.com to see my events that I'll be bringing this lovely new book series to as well.
Awesome. I love the art on it too.
Yeah.
Thank you. And of course, I'll be at MegaCon in February, beginning of February 1st through the 4th in Orlando. So I'll be there as well.
But you won't have the book there, though, right?
No.
Okay.
But he can build the hype.
Exactly.
Yes.
Build the hype.
Yes.
Build the hype.
That's cool. I'll probably see you there then.
Oh,
you're going. Oh, see. People.
Yeah, I live right near it, so.
Oh, do you?
Mm-hmm.
All right,
Oh, good.
that's
Good,
what I like to
good
see.
recommendation.
When you guys meet each other,
always
make
a
sure to
plus.
take some pictures.
Yeah.
A lot of good food there on
Oh, I'm
International
sure. Yeah, it's gonna be scary and fun because I'm doing it by myself. But it'll be
a partner or somebody goes with you.
Yeah.
Man.
All right. Do you got your stuff or?
Well,
yeah.
Hold on. I do have one more then, since we're talking about conventions.
Oh, okay.
I put it in the chat.
You're gonna chatty chat. Oh, wait, no, that's the wrong one. All right, there it goes. Share the tab. Ooh, this is interesting.
Yep. So, beginning-ish of February, me and Dirk Manning will be here at the Michigan Oddities and Horror Fest. Come look at real human skulls and other stuff.
Oh my goodness, that is
Whoa.
amazing.
Oh yeah, there's a museum of horror in the same town, run by the guy who does this, and no, he has a glass case where he just has like human skulls and
I want
stuff.
to see bones.
If you guys remember the whole salmonella thing with Jif peanut butter from like 2-3 years ago, he has like a jar of peanut butter from that year when the whole recall thing happened. He has like an actual haunted Ouija board that was donated by an actual witch.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
So if we don't hear from you, we'll know why. Like someone fooled around and found out.
There's also a room where you have to be like 18 years or older because it's filled with like a bunch of pictures of like decapitated humans and stuff.
Oh goodness.
Yeah.
That is
horror.
true horror. That is not
Yeah.
just like, okay, a guy in a skeleton costume jumping out at you. Like that is this is some serious heavy stuff.
And then plus aside from me and Dirk, Kane Hodder from Friday the 13th, like God, I think he's in 7 through 10.
Okay.
I don't know. He's in a few of them.
Is
So,
he Jason
he'll be
Take Manhattan?
I love how it's like
he's in
real
that one.
human skulls, human bones, pro wrestling.
Yeah, one
Like,
of
they
the
have it all.
yeah, there's a wrestling promotion that is also run out of Monroe, Michigan. Yeah.
All I can think of is like, oh man, it'd be great to have the Undertaker there.
Oh, definitely, man. That'd be the best guest.
Apparently he like his like fees for like conventions and stuff is like ridiculous.
Yeah, because he's the Undertaker. That's
Well,
why.
yeah. Like I met Kane a few years ago at the mall by my house, and to meet him was like $100.
Sounds about right.
Not terrible though.
Well, yeah.
Oh, that's a good price.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good price. Definitely a good price.
Kind of cheap actually.
Yeah.
Cheaper than I was expecting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mentioned earlier I love that old wrestling, the WCW and early WWF.
Yeah.
But it just got into,
a bunch of weird.
It turned into a soap opera.
Exactly. That's exactly what happened. Everyone just wants to get up there and give speeches and just
and then there's like half of a fight, and then someone comes in like illegally and like smashes the other guy, and then everyone's disqualified, and then you're just like, what did I just see?
The worst.
I think my favorite thing of all times, I was hanging out with the guys from of course names escape me right now. I was hanging out at New York Comic Con with Mike, and he had the guys, all these wrestlers there, and then they were all signing, and it was fabulous. And these guys were having so much fun with each other. This is what you actually see is that these guys are beautiful. They have hearts of gold, and it was Mankind. And I think it was
Mick Foley is just like
he's amazing.
Yeah,
he's great.
It was Mick Foley and Sergeant Slaughter, and they put up this whole little show there with each other fighting. It was just amazing.
Like Mick Foley, for the things that he's done and like the weird events that he's been in and all the dangerous things, he is just like the most sane man that I've ever seen, and I don't know how he does it.
Losing an ear.
Yeah, ridiculous.
He was never supposed to be, that whole thing with Hell in the Cell. He was never supposed to go off the cell.
Yeah.
He told Taker to throw him off.
Yeah.
That's how that happened. That was never scripted. That was never scripted.
I love the story with that. It's great.
Yeah. So do I. Like, I'm a big wrestling fan. I'm a big Undertaker fan. And, like he told him, and then he basically, him and Vince, him and Mick pretty much got reamed at by Vince McMahon. Like, there's a whole thing with that whole match because it's so, there's nothing to say about that match. It's probably rated as one of the best and sickest and brutality matches.
Not counting the ones like outside of WWE, like when Foley used to do death matches in Japan.
Oh my god, yeah, that's the stuff he did in Japan is exactly what I was thinking about. It's like barbed wire or something.
Well, it was barbed wire and actual C4.
Yeah.
Oh, was it C4 there? Oh, that's right, the exploding ring. Yeah.
Yeah. Before we got the whole sparkler show at AEW a few years.
Yeah, going through the cell was never scripted.
I forgot about that one. Yeah.
So Michael Kingston and Headlock Comics. Yeah, there you go. I was hanging out with him for one Comic Con. Sometimes you got to do things in order to get the press stuff that I need to get. and he was nice enough to help me out. And Mike, it was a blast watching all these wrestlers come and go through his booth.
Oh yeah, I've met quite a few now because of conventions and stuff.
Nice.
Yep.
So, Mr. Nat, do you got anything? Are you there?
He's muted.
I think he walked away and fell asleep.
I'm thinking so too. It is after midnight, isn't it? Yeah.
Oh, there you have it, folks. This has been the Written Writ, and of course, we have a lot of beautiful things that we covered here today, and you guys really do have to check out these guys. Richard, Jesse, tell them one more time who you are, where you are. Tell them all the good stuff so we can leave them off with Write Warz.
No pressure.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm Chief Joystick Waggler. And
That is a great title, by the way.
I like that.
You. Yep. Write Warz, creative writing battle royale. You should definitely check it out if you have any interest in writing, or even if you don't, if you just like competitive games. It's definitely it's something you've never played before. So really excited about that. And Jesse.
I'm Jesse, the creative director, and I'm drawing a blank here, but I just wanted to say, well, what I was going to close with was telling you guys that we're going to use you guys as a quote in our Kickstarter. So that's what I had in my head.
Oh, absolutely.
Love it.
Oh yeah. For the game, everybody, we wanted to make a game that's as expansive as your imagination, and we've been working on it. So we hope you guys like it.
Definitely. We love it. And you can use whatever we said here, and we'll continue to support and spread the word, because we really like what you're doing here and we believe in it. So first of all, let me just put this back up again. Folks, you know what we like to say here. Go sign up to get notified. You saw me do it a couple times here with a couple of the projects that were there.
On a couple of different accounts too.
Exactly. Signing up to get notified actually helps the projects out, and it helps them to start in a good place with the algorithm, the evil algorithm, you know.
Yes.
And you know, this is what you want to do. You want to get the project started in a good place with the algorithm, and maybe even start off as a project we love from the get-go. So go. Yeah. It's free to do. It's free to sign up to get notified.
Seriously, what the hell are you all waiting for?
Help somebody out. There you go.
Thank
you. And of course, like we said, we like Write Warz. And when you guys are ready to launch, you can come right back on, and we'll do the whole thing with you guys, and we'll see if we can get you some people to go and support Write Warz.
Awesome. We appreciate it.
Appreciate it, guys. Thank you.
Maybe there'll be more than $1.
Oh my goodness. Make it rain.
And if you're looking for alpha players, I was already talking to the guys, and like, it would be nice to all play this as Bitten Apple TV.
Bitten Apple Write Warz. I'd be down for that.
Yeah.
I'm also gonna get my own Discord group in on it too, because we used to play Jackbox together, but now we can play Write Warz instead.
Me and Ralph will get to show off our fancy VIP stuff.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yep. And I told Raph before, you know, anyone here, you want to get on the alpha test, just let me know.
There you go.
Excellent.
Excellent. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this
press the button
up here, add to the stage, and we're going to end off with beautiful
In the dark and twisted corners of our imagination, there lies endless worlds of wonder and terror. In one, the undead have risen to claim the earth. In another, a hard-boiled detective is on the trail of a mystery shrouded in darkness. And in the depths of space, the crew of an interstellar vessel is unknown. But there is more, a fantasy world of ancient ruins, where a band of adventurers gather to face an unknown peril. These are just a few of the many worlds waiting to be explored. So choose your world, wield your words, and join us, where every story begins with a single sentence and ends with infinite possibilities.
infinite possibilities, folks.
Infinite.
You heard it here.